Is having a bad trip actually an attack from an evil spirit? Hear me out. So, I have a story to share with you, or rather, a testimony that happened to me this last January. Today is September 2025. So, real quick before I start this story, I want to say that I no longer take these substances. I am actually sober. I have given up all these substances. God has shown me the truth, and I have abided in Him. I was at a friend's house. We're at a New Year's party, and it's about 3 a.m. at this point. And me and my wife are having the time of our lives. We're on substances. We're feeling great. We're feeling awesome. We were on some psychedelics too. But with that being said, we were having a great time. We're at our friend's house, and he has dance music playing. There's about like 8 or 9 people left at this party at about 3 a.m. in the morning, and me and my wife are dancing at the center of his little dance stage he has there. And while we're dancing and holding each other, I feel this evil presence upon this girl that's sitting on the couch. And I can't shake this sinister feeling, but I feel this evil presence. And in the Bible, it states that these spiritual beings, these evil, unclean spirits, they attach themselves to people and they jump from people to people to people. Now, going back on it, I just want to say that I don't believe the girl was evil in any way, but I believe there was something upon her, an unclean evil spirit, or you can even call that a demon, was upon her, and it decided to jump from her on to me. Because as soon as it did, I started having a bad trip. But again, I'd rather call that an spiritual attack because that's what it was. So in my head, I start thinking the wildest thing. I start thinking that everyone's going to kill me. Like everybody is in on it. The whole world is going to end tonight in some way or some fashion. Like it's almost as if like the devil, this is the devil's day and he's going to act upon his plan tonight and everybody's in on it. And I'm battling with this in my head because I know it's not true. So I'm having this bad trip in my head, or rather, again, spiritual attack. And I talk to another friend, and when I look him in the eye, it feels like they're in on it. And so it's like confirming what I know isn't real. But still, I'm keeping calm, not letting anyone know that I'm going through this in my head, this bad trip or spiritual attack. So as I'm fighting with this thought, the thought comes to me. I'm like, I am a Christian. Why don't I ask God for help? Why don't I rely on Him for help? This is the first time I've ever been back with Christ and been on substances like this, and actually thought to rely and ask Him for help. So what I do is I start saying in my head, God will protect me. Jesus will protect me. God will save me. And I'm saying that in my head over and over and over. God will protect me. Jesus will protect me. And you know what it felt like? It felt like I was being tormented. It felt like something was in my head, whispering in my ears that, yeah, God will protect you. Yeah, Jesus will protect you. And it was just like, felt like I was being mocked and nothing was helping. So I'm like, this isn't working. And about a half an hour had passed by now. I'm still just dealing with this issue. And while this is all happening, I have fear, I have anxiety. You can imagine it. It's just I feel very uncomfortable. Um, and then the thought comes to me: I'm just saying statements. So why don't I actually pray directly to God to establish a connection with God, an actual conversation? Because I'm just saying statements that's not going to do anything. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I got to pray to God. So in my head, I start trying to pray to God. But you know what? It feels like I'm being choked, strangled. My thoughts, they're being choked and strangled. And I can't even formulate a sentence as a prayer to God. It's like something is preventing me from speaking to the God Almighty. And I can't pray to Him. I'm having a lot of difficulty praying to Him. And in my head, I'm just thinking, like, you can do this, Mike. Pray to God. And I'm telling you, with the most effort and the most struggle, I could finally was able to get this words out to God. I was barely in my head, I was barely able to say, God, rid me of these evil spirits. And boom, gone immediately. The bad trip was completely over. All the fear, all the anxiety, all the torment, it was like something just whooshed away. Like, and I was sitting there at this party dealing with this myself. And I was sitting there like, it's gone. It's gone. The bad trip, or again, the evil spirit, is gone. And I was in absolute shock because to me, that was a confirmation from God that rid me of this evil spirit because he has authority over all. And he heard my prayer. And he heard my prayer and he answered it. And I was completely cured of any torment, any awful thoughts. And I was perfectly good, 100%. I actually felt sober at this point. And wow, I kept this to myself. I didn't want to tell my wife while I was under the influence. But let me tell you, on the ride home in the Uber, I was so thankful. At this point, the sun was coming up. It was late in the early in the early morning, and the sun was coming up. And I'm looking outside the Uber, and I am in tears, y'all. Tears streaming down my face. And I'm praying to God because I was so thankful that He came and answered my prayer and rid this evil spirit from me. And you know what? It was like a confirmation. It was a confirmation to know that God is real. This is a testimony that I want to share with the world. And I also want to share this with anyone because if you're ever going through a spiritual attack or a bad trip, sometimes you might be calling on God, but you need to actually physically pray to Him, pray directly to Him, and make a direct contact with Him. Because when I was saying statements, it's like I was a crazy person. You know, like it's like a crazy person on the street talking biblical things and saying God this, God that, you know, Jesus, Jesus this. That's not going to do anything. You have to actually pray to God. And with His grace, He will remove you from that bad trip because I don't think it's a bad trip. It's not. After reading my Bible here, I don't think it's a bad trip at all. This is telling me that it's a bad evil spirit and it's a spiritual attack. 100%. Why do we get those thoughts that come into our heads and then all of a sudden it's these evil thoughts and things that come into your head? That is from an outside source coming in, sharing space with your mind because you've taken a substance that has allowed it in. You've opened up your mind to allow something else in, and now it's tormenting you. And that's what happened to me, and that's my testimony. And thank God that He came to my rescue. I love Him to death. I hope you love Him to death, or at least get to know Him because He's an amazing God. He's real, and He's coming back. And that's why me and my wife started um, this YouTube. I hope this video has helped somebody. If you're experiencing any type of spiritual warfare, if you've ever had like a bad trip, I would love to hear about it down in the comments. I think that'd be awesome just to hear any bad trips you might have had. And I could kind of share a biblical aspect for you or help point you in a direction where it could have where God could help you. Please like and subscribe and share. We'd really appreciate that to get more eyes on this video and more information out about this to other party goers, other people that take and go to these music festivals like me and my wife used to go to. So yeah, I'm always here. If you need me, message me. Um, I'd love to help you out if you have any questions about anything, any sort that has anything to do with spiritual warfare, because I've had my share of spiritual warfare, and I want to share that with you because there is tools against these attacks. And there's other stories that me and my wife have that I'm going to share in the very, very near future. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be sharing that very, very soon. So thanks for watching, and God bless you.